Spirit of the living God, thou light and fire divine, descend upon thy church once more and make it truly thine. Fill us with love and joy and power, with righteousness and peace, till Christ shall dwell in human hearts and sin and sorrow cease. Blow, wind of God, with wisdom blow, until our minds are free from mists of error, clouds of doubt, which blind our eyes to thee. Burn wicked fire, inspire our lips with flaming love and zeal, to preach to all thy great good news, God's glorious commonweal. So shall we know the power of Christ, who came this world to save. So shall we rise with him to life, which soars beyond the grave. And earth shall win true holiness, which makes thy children whole, till perfected by thee we reach creation's glorious goal.
Thank you so much, Rev Wayne. If you're back, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, my friend.
I am back. Yeah, no worry. All right. So, how you doing, everyone? What's going on? It's Reverend Wayne Stills from Miracles Everywhere. Sorry about that. There's some vacuuming going on. So when the vacuum goes out, man, those dogs, they go crazy. It's like they hate vacuum. They want to kill the vacuum. I don't know what it is about vacuums and dogs, but I don't know if anyone else has noticed that with their dogs. But these dogs, they just want to kill the vacuum. Not the vacuum person who's doing the vacuum. The vacuum itself is the enemy. And they're not scared of the vacuum at all. They go towards it. They want to kill it. So, so I had to just get down there and take care of it. So sorry about that. Anyhow, so today we are reading Anxiety to Love, a radical new approach for letting go of fear and finding lasting peace by Corinne Isabel. It's been a great read so far. And I really was hold on one second. Okay. All right. So We're reading Anxiety to Love, and it's been a great read. I mean, one of the best things about it is that it's how approachable it is. It's almost as if she's talking directly to my inner the child within me, the Son of God within me, and I'm able to just respond as my inner child, as the child of God, and she makes the choice for Christ so much easier to make. It's almost as if she makes the choice self-evident. And it's always easy when you can make self-evident choices about yourself for yourself. If you can ask yourself a self-evident question, and your brain kind of works better like that when it has an option, but the option is obvious, the choice is obvious, the answer is obvious, so it knows, and so it's almost as if when you were a kid, when you have kids, and you make believe you're giving them an option, but you're really not. You either do this or that, but obviously that's what they're going to do. Well, that's really how you trick your mind. You may believe you giving your mind an option, but you're really not, because it's a self-evident question. Like, would you rather be sad, or would you rather be free of your sadness? It's up to you, you know. And this is how she kind of approaches it in my judgment. She's making it so much easier to understand your spirit and your mind and how it works in relationship to the so-called universe. Anyhow, that's just how I'm looking at it. So, Audsie, what do you think? How's it going, by the way? And what do you think?
Well, it's going great, Rev Wayne, and I think that's a great summary of Corinne Zupka's Anxiety to Love book. She really does have a way with her words and the language. I feel comfortable. I feel like it's understandable, but then I realize I've read the course a bit, so I'm like, maybe I'm a bit biased, but I just feel like it's very straightforward and easy to understand, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And we left off last week at this next section. Where does anxiety come from?
Excellent.
That's where we left off.
Very, very convenient.
Yes,
Do you want to start reading?
I will.
Okay.
It starts out with uh, some
What?
verbiage from text chapter 4.
Verbiage.
When you are anxious, realize that anxiety comes from the capriciousness of the ego, and know this need not be. Now, I find this very funny because I was just saying how easy it was to understand and straightforward, and then I just read this word, capriciousness.
Irresponsible. Not you can't count on. You can't be counted upon. That's how I understand it.
Okay. Well,
see.
here in Kindle, we can just highlight the word, and it
excellent.
gives us a nice little new Oxford American Dictionary here. Given to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood or behavior.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah. So look, a capricious and often brutal administration.
That sounds
A capricious climate. Yeah.
Or a capricious ego.
Yes. So we can understand what it means from that, I think.
Right.
So yeah, that's funny.
Moody.
So we can, sorry?
Moody.
Moody.
Yeah, very moody.
Nice. Moody. That's
moody.
his name. Nice.
It's very difficult to be around somebody who's really moody. Whose moods are unstable, you know.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. Excuse me. So realize that anxiety comes from the capriciousness of the ego, and know this need not be. You can be as vigilant against the ego's dictates as for them. That does that make sense?
Yeah, as for them. You can be vigilant as you are against them as you are for them.
Oh, yes, thanks. Thank you. I just had a blip in my brain there.
Yeah,
it's
written a little bit odd.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I used to have trouble identifying with this course quote. Oh, here we go. Because my personality is anything but capricious. Okay. I am highly dependable and fairly predictable. I can make decisions and stick to them, and I don't have trouble making commitments. but the ego's capriciousness goes deeper because it is built on a lie. Think about how easy it is to get knocked off center when something quote unquote bad happens. The ego's whole world can be turned upside down in an instant. That's because the ego is simply a belief that nothing is actually something. There is nothing to trust in because there is nothing there.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I'm going to stop there, Rev Wayne, because we should talk about this. Hey, nothing is actually something. What's going on here?
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. I mean, you're not your thoughts. You're not your body. Your body walks around taking pictures of things all the time, just images in your mind of the past. You have images of your past in your mind, but you're not your images. You're not the images of your past, and you're not the images you take you're not the images of the imaginings of the future. So all the pictures in your mind plus your body, that's not who you are. So what are you? Can you find out can you find yourself?
Mm-hmm.
If I said to you right now, find yourself, but don't look to your memory and don't look at all.
Yeah.
Tell me, can you, what are you? What's left over? Nothing.
Nothing.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that nothingness is what's actually pretending to be something.
Yep.
That's how it's done. That's what you do when you're nothingness, like we are. To make something up, we have to believe it. We have to make believe.
Wow.
So we have to believe it into existence. And of course, believing, as you know, what does Tub always say? It's a lie. So the whole universe is made up from lies.
Right.
That's why I said so-called universe, the whole so-called universe, the whole so-called cosmos. It starts at a lie, and that we can do something, that we can make up something like this, which of course we can't. But we can pretend we are, and that's the whole thing. Now, in order to get out of here, we have to start pretending. It seems to us that we have to pretend our way out by saying things that make no sense. You know, like, oh, that was a dream. It was a dream. We're talking about it wasn't a dream. The ego makes relative to the ego in this world, we have to sound like we're pretending, use the same method to get out. Make believe. It sounds like we make ourselves believe what's going on here.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because then when you start to question and speak against it, and of course it really gets even more capricious. And then those around you, it's like that movie Inception, they start to look at you funny and then they'll attack you.
Yeah.
Because you're not you're something's not right about you, but right now it's that opposite. It's that single one looking around, something's not right. And then as soon as we talk about it, those around us are like, you're crazy, put you away. Meanwhile, it's the ones that are thinking that they're sane that are insane.
Yeah.
And the insane supposed ones are locked away and never to be heard from again. But they're the ones saying, look, like you're not starting at the original first thought.
Right.
Like see, you say this rule and you don't back up to when you first put it into place.
Exactly. I mean, if you think about it, in order for us to have a world where we actually had to help other people, we had to first become helpless. We had to first take away all of our abilities.
Yeah.
We had all the abilities. We didn't need to be helped at first. We were created perfect.
Yeah.
God created us perfect. We were the perfect effect of the perfect cause. The cause and effect, all one being. Oneness. We split it up. And we pretended that we were more than one. And we did it by giving away all of our abilities, all of our power, all of our everything. It can probably happen slowly. I'm sure we probably mentioned the lower dimension, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and now we're at 3. We probably went all the way down to, as Lynn probably pointed out, we probably went all the way down to the lowest dimension possible. Working our way back up, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we were amoebas. I don't know what dimension, what are they, one-dimensional? I don't know what amoebas, what they exist. I don't know how that kind of works, really. But I know that,
single-celled amoeba.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're practicing almost we're evolving on this planet so we can experience the evolution of people and
Mm.
humanity on this planet. So it's one of those well anyhow. We should probably
Yeah,
read.
good. We're good. We'll move on. Do you want me to
Yeah.
keep
Yeah, we keep reading.
keep reading? And I'm just gonna read the chat first here. Dove says from workbook lesson 106, be not afraid today to circumvent the voices of the world. I love that.
Great.
Walk lightly past their meaningless persuasion. Hear them
Yeah.
not.
That's great.
Ego's capriciousness equals meaningless persuasion.
That's great.
Oh, that's beautiful, Dove. Thank you. Because like I did, because I'm saying like you can't really say anything because all those people think you're wackadoo. And this is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid today to circumvent the voices of the world. Be not afraid.
And yeah, how do you do that? Of course, I mean, the way I would do that is just to remind myself that those voices are not really they're not true effects. There are no true effects out there. And Jesus said, there's no effect here at all because this is a dream. And so since there are no effects at all, there's no cause. So none of us are really causing anything to happen at all.
Yeah.
So they're not responsible for anything. So just chill out and relax.
Chill out and
And
relax.
that's how you circumvent all the voices. All the voices that we're hard to compete, attack,
Yes.
get out of the way, run, attack, fight, fight. And
Yeah.
what am I fighting? Well, so is that there? Meaningless persuasion, exactly. Well, is that
Oh.
influences? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just a bunch of it's the so-called laws of chaos in action. And of course, there's no such thing as laws of chaos. That's the first thing that when you're reading laws of chaos. It's just the appearance. That's why you can let the emotional life of your reactions to these things bury you because the reactions are not even there because God didn't make them. Your negative reactions.
Right.
God didn't make those negative reactions, so you can just let them go.
God didn't make the tantrum.
No, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, you let it go. I mean, you have to pretend it didn't happen. Just you let it go. I mean, you don't have to, bump. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. It happens. It happens. I always say you lose your temper, then you find it again. Obviously. All right. So you want to read? What's the thing? Was the thing about time that we are?
Yeah, go. You
Oh,
do
I
it.
just read. Okay.
Sure.
Think about a time when you were feeling happy and peaceful. And then you took a car in for oil change, and your mechanic discovered it needed thousands of dollars in critical repairs. Your sense of financial safety was threatened, and your happiness flew out the window. Or suppose you were online, you see an online news headline warning about a new antibiotic resistant superbug, and suddenly you have new fuel for your fears. This is the capricious ego at work, easily knocked off balance by threats it perceives, and is always on the lookout for them because that's how it's protecting, in quotes, protecting us.
Yeah. It thinks it's
Yeah.
protecting us.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. The world itself is much more dangerous than anything else there is because we think it's real. The most real stuff we think is surrounding us, more real than anything within us. We know that stuff within us is transient. It's thoughts within us, but the stuff around us. So the stuff around us is where you have to watch out. That's the real stuff. That's where the wars are and the muggings are and the crimes are. They're happening outside of us, and they're happening in our consciousness. Everything is our consciousness. Everything is our consciousness. So but it's the part of our consciousness that we see projected outside of ourselves that represents the most danger, and that's the more we think is the most stable, the most solid. We figure outside of ourselves, but that's the most chaotic. I think you said that earlier. Did you say it's the people that seem the most sane that are actually the most insane?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the same with what's around you. What seems the most stable and the most obedient to the laws of physics are just that. But the laws of physics are the laws of ego. And so they're the most obedient to the laws of ego, they represent the laws of chaos the most powerfully. So we can trust nothing here. But that's okay. We don't have to. We trust the spirit.
Are you there? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm here,
Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah. I'm trusting the spirit. Yeah. I know back when there was something I wanted to say here. There was this when we're talking about
Anxiety come from.
highly dependable. Well, I don't know, but I'm just been, you gave me that homework about my homework. I'm just looking at lesson 14 every day,
Oh.
and I just had a really click there, but it's gone, and that's fine. I don't need to know it, but it's been
You do
very
your homework?
yeah, I mean, like
No.
it's hard. It was hard to do for the brain, right? Because the brain's like, no, you can't do that. You have to
Yeah,
go to the lesson every day, go to the daily lesson. It's
yeah,
like, wow, there's a little bit of, it's funny because the brain talks about the course too, right? Like all
yeah.
this negative things or whatever it wants to come up and argue about. But then when I go to try to do something with the course, it's like arguing for the course and saying, no, that's not the way to do the course. Like it's just a
Oh,
little,
yeah, it's
it's so evident that it's a
absolutely.
crazy maker, the thinking.
We have plow through that. It happens to me all the time. Dozens of different variations of delay tactics to get you to not doing the course.
Yeah.
And there's a nice little cover there where it's like, do the course right. Well, you just do the course correctly. You do the course right. And then you see you start to grind away at one lesson for like a week.
Yeah.
And as you know, you get sick of it, you say, the hell with it. Or you get angry and frustrated, and you stall. And then, you don't save any time. It happened, it happened when I first, I mean, I actually through it pretty quickly because I did the text first, and I didn't have a problem reading the text really. So I was pretty lucky with that, but I know that it makes perfect sense that that would happen because it was I could see. What I did was if I hit somebody I didn't understand, I just went past it. Really, and as I was reading it, I noticed that the text repeated itself. It was very circular. It was almost like a song.
Yeah. Like
And it's
nice. Yeah.
so whatever question you have it tends to get answered, as you're reading it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no reason to grind away. Is there and try to figure out so intently what it's saying. If I mean, I don't say still you shouldn't stop and try to think about something, but if you really find yourself just not getting something, you stop it, you stop, start. So stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. And you may have just go past and say, I'm going to see if I can. It comes up again as I'm reading because it probably will.
Like just go, like just keep
Yeah,
going. You
yeah,
don't have to get stuck on something.
yeah.
That's
And Jesus is not going to be no, no, no. Yeah, you just sit there and
don't,
wait.
it's the old saying, Rev Wayne, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Keep the damn baby, people.
Yeah,
We want the
exactly.
babies.
Exactly. All right. So what are we thinking about when you read that?
Happy.
So trying to find stability. There we are.
Did we read the flew out the window? Did
Oh,
we
okay.
read this?
Or suppose you saw, yeah, suppose. Or suppose you see a headline on the news word. Yeah, we read that. Yeah, we read all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Trying to find stability in life by identifying with the ego is like trying to stand and balance on swaying funhouse floor.
Oh gosh.
And we might find our balance with practice, but it's still really easy to get knocked over. All it takes is an unexpected event or a new threat to our specialness, and our whole world gets turned upside down.
Oh,
Anxiety,
oh,
that's
sorry.
on
I can
me.
hear some feedback, but I'll
Yeah.
just mute. There you go. Go ahead.
Anxiety comes from identification with the ego. The ego uses anxiety as a grand distraction to keep us from remembering our oneness. It scrambles to muster all the diversions it can, including anxiety, depression, conflict, or sickness. It will tell you that you are all alone. It'll tell you anything to prove you that you are limited to a very vulnerable body. But as we remember that our identity is not based in the body, anxiety has to fall away. The more I identify with the body, the more I think that I'm alone in this world. The more I cling to this world, the more anxiety I feel. If you want to know just how identified with the ego you are, check your anxiety level. It's a great barometer of your inner storms.
All right.
Oh, do you find yourself anxious most of the time?
Oh, just one moment. I gotta grab this phone call. Hang on.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about anyone else here, but I don't find myself. I have a simmering low level anxiety most of the time, but I've had a so-called in quote anxiety disorder since I was a kid, which I've been treating since I'm a kid with a little small amount of medicine and well, and God. God's really been the main sources of it since I'm a kid. So I've been spiritual. I've been spiritual since my 20s, since I'm actually my teens. I have no idea why Jesus chose me, but I've always looked at it because I have no one else in my family, none of my friends, none of them was religious, but Wayne. Wayne was. Most of my friends just thought I was a weirdo. Wayne, oh Wayne, yeah, Wayne. He's the religious one, man. Yeah, he's the spiritual one.
Wayne, you chose that before you came here.
I guess
You
so.
came here with that, and that's been your mission since the day one, and everything that you've done to this moment has been in furtherance of it. So thank you.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's the least I can do. What else is there to do besides being? I realized the main reason I got involved with acting was build relationships with people. And so it's a great way to meet people and build relationships with them and help them be happy. It's a great give and take. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing this is to meet great people like I do when I'm in this room. And just give and take, and it's the giving of love. And when you give love, you get love, and it's not a selfish thing really, because you focus on the person you're giving love to, and then as you're giving love, you know that you have to have the love to give, so it becomes a chain, and it's a beautiful thing. Um, so the I guess I'll just start reading here. I might as well. This is anxiety. When I was waiting, it's an activity. I thought maybe I want to wait for her to do it, but I'll just start reading the activity and we'll just give it we'll go through it. Uh,
I was just going to mention something real quick
sure.
before you went on. Too, is that you know, what I think a lot of people, and I know I have, and I bet I'm sure that you have too, when you see people in movies or you read characters in books, you fall in love with them and you have a personal relationship with them, or you have other relationships with them, but if in general, that when we see people on a screen that are acting out a story that affects us emotionally, we have a relationship with that person. It may be an actor who's playing a part, and it's not even their part at all, but but we see them as a certain way. And so, yeah, acting is really a good way to get into a place where you're experiencing relationships with people, not just the people that you're acting with, but the people who are watching what you're doing. And if you're on a stage, the audience, it's all a part of your love affair. And so, yeah, I can see, getting into something like that being a way to connect with people because you really do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why. Looking back on it, yeah, that's the main reason why. The relationship you build with the audience, especially on stage, you get feedback from the audience is the relationship you build with. It's odd to build a relationship with a lot of people at once, which is what you do during the experience on stage, and then you get off the stage and you get a feedback individually and you see the look in their eyes that says that was fun, that thank you very much, and they give you a smile, and you're building relationships with people you don't even know, and it's the miracle because you don't really have it. It's not like you know these people or you go out with them and have dinner or anything like that. It's just a smile. It's just a thank you that they give you, and the thank you, and I thank them for the thank you. It's just a bunch of thank yous being thrown back and forth, and it's nice. There's a lot of gratefulness in theater when everyone's when it's a good show and it's good acting, and same thing with a movie. And when a great movie happens in cinema, people walk out. Everyone's like just for momentarily, everyone's just better friends when they've seen a great movie and together, and they go laugh together, or they been scared together. And so that's one of the reasons why, looking back, I got into it. And it's also a main reason why I've been teaching the course for so long, because side by side, I've been doing both. And it's been a strange struggle because the culture of the theater and film is not overly spiritual in a strange way. It's the arts is in itself very is spiritual in my opinion, but it is a strange divide, and but I just said the hell with it because healing is a very important part of my ministry or whatever you want to call it. And it was just important to me to keep them both going. And for the same reasons, I was meeting a lot of people. It was odd for me to meet them online. I had never done that before, but I got used to it. Now I feel like I know you guys as well as anyone I've ever known before. And as I said, this is how it's going to be in the end. Anyhow, we're not going to have bodies, so this is closer to the actual way we're going to be in the end. All right, so Audsie, you're back. That's great. So I didn't actually get to the activity, so we
Oh,
can.
good. You waited
so-
for me. Yay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, well, yeah. I just started jabbering, and Lynn actually she also chimed in with some great stuff. So
Oh, good.
no
I'll
problem.
listen to
No
it.
problem.
Okay,
right.
look at us. We're going to read our anxiety barometer.
That's right. All right. You want?
Do you want me to read it?
Sure,
Or
go
you
ahead.
wanna go?
Yeah.
Anxiety increases when we identify with the small s, self, ego. Anxiety decreases as we develop a stronger identification with our capital S, self, spirit. Draw a scale from -10 to +10 with a 0 in the middle. This is your anxiety barometer. The side with negative numbers indicates anxiety levels, with -10 being paralyzing anxiety and -1 being mild anxiety. 0 is neutral. The side with the positive numbers indicates your level of inner peace, with number 1 being mild inner peace, feeling relatively calm, but still vulnerable to getting upset, and +10 being an unshakable inner peace, the feeling that regardless of external circumstances, you are at peace because you fully know that nothing can change our eternal reality. In general, where would you rank yourself on the barometer today? Choose a number. Your number may be based either on your mental state or on sensing your body and noticing how much tension or calmness is present. So, Rev Wayne, where would you rate yourself?
The time of day is pretty important with me. And I'm up at 3 in the morning sometimes. My barometer is a little lower. I'm closer to 0, maybe down there. It's 2, 3 in the morning because I think a lot. 2, 3 in the morning, you're not supposed to make any decisions at night because you're in your worst shape mentally. Well, that's very true with me. I would say overall, I'm pretty laid back guy. I'm not anxious as I used to be. It's hard though with Parkinson's because you lose a lot of your dopamine, and that's the pleasure chemical. So anxiety kind of comes with the programming. So, but it's okay. I have a lot of tools. So I would say I'm like about 2.
2 to 2 right now?
Yeah, 2. I would say I'm usually about a 2, about 1 or 2 or somewhere around there. I don't usually have any problems. I mean, I treat it. I treat it with some sort of little medicine, and I'm constantly reading spiritual books, constantly, because of the course, and so I'm constantly fighting any anxiety.
Cool.
Because
Not cool, but
anytime any anxiety comes up, I just fight it. I mean, what is 1 or 2? What is 1 or 2 again?
well, 0 is your neutral, but 1 or 2, when you're 1, you're mildly inner peace. You're feeling relatively calm, but you could still be vulnerable to getting upset with the number 1. And then number 2, you go up, but 10 is bliss, peace.
Oh, well, I feel bliss sometimes, but I don't know if I'm feeling total bliss.
No.
That'd be nice. That'd be fantastic, but I might have to, maybe when I'm meditating or something, I watch something that really lifts me up, I can go momentary moments of bliss. Yeah, if it's really a holy instant or something and so forth. For the most part, I would say I'm down like relatively calm, but could be taken off guard easily, be upset, you know.
Yeah.
If I found out, I come home one day, when something happened with my kids or something happened, well, if we lost, my wife was fired or something, I could see myself getting a little more perturbed.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, but for the most part, I'm the one that still is the optimist in the house, and you know, I'm dad, and so I'm doing the choose Christ thing. So there you go. And I've been doing it for a
Okay.
while. So
Okay. So the other day, I went out with Ash to do some errands, and it's kind of weird because I thought I felt anxious, but I didn't actually feel the anxiety when I'm assessing it here. And even as I was in the moment, I was like, wait a minute, why I don't have that feeling, that feeling of you when you get it comes up, it's like
yeah,
sort of almost takes your
like hurt,
breath, and it's just,
hurtful knot
yeah,
almost. Yeah.
just there. Well, I didn't have that feeling, but the thoughts were there. And then there were reactions based on the thoughts, but nothing to do with my feelings.
Interesting.
Like for instance, I would like something would happen and I would go, but I didn't have that initial uh kind of jump scare before that you would get before you do the after you and then after you go. So it was very interesting to sort of watch that. I was so what I deduced was what my thinking is telling me, that you should be anxious because you're not in control of this car and you're feeling jerking and whatever, but there was no feeling. It was all just these thinkings, thoughts. So it was,
You were driving?
no, I wasn't
Uh,
driving. I was
uh,
sitting in the passenger seat
uh,
experiencing, what I would usually have the feeling of anxiety. The feeling was gone, but the thoughts were still there, and there was still a reaction to the thoughts, even though there was no feeling of anxiety. I found that very perplexing, but anyway.
was it a reaction or did you find? I mean, you couldn't take advantage of that. I mean, you could look at the thoughts and look at your images without any kind of emotional reaction.
Yeah.
You could just you can respond to it more logically, more rationally. I
That
mean,
then I was able to, yeah, because
yeah.
that feeling didn't accompany it. I was able to be like, huh. And I was like, oh, sorry, Ash. And then I was able to communicate. And then Ash was like, oh, okay, I know what he's like, oh, I know what you mean. And he backed off,
Oh, yeah.
like off of, because I was just feeling like, oh my God, these cars are, I wasn't feeling it. It was the saying. And he responded because I didn't come from that feeling of anxiety. I
Right,
came
right.
from a way of just talking about what
You
was
can,
happening in that moment
right.
without trying to defend it. I was actually I opened the communication to it, I think, instead of being in it and unable to communicate and in this defense and mode that I couldn't
It's not
get
like
through.
it's not like you weren't overly identified with it. It sounds like you weren't identified.
Yeah, I wasn't identified with it. Yeah.
You say, I am that. I am that. You realize you weren't it. So you were able to look at it from almost as though you were observing it from a distance. And you're able to see what's there and not there without actually figuring it out.
Maybe I was above the battleground.
Yeah, so it sounded like you were, at least when you were dealing with these memories, you were above the battle. If you felt like there was no battle, then you were.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, everyone try to repeat that as much as I would just say, see what happens again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Observe how you feel. Observe it. Well,
yeah.
there's always gonna be something there, but just observe. You want to observe with spirit. You, the spirit, Ken always says, you and Jesus can watch what's going on and
Yeah.
decide what's real and what's not real. What's real and what's not real. And usually you find most of it's not real. Look upon the that's course it's look upon the devastation of your life.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah, I've that very clear, direct experience of that, which is so beautiful because this is the first time I'm like being able to say, oh my goodness, I can see that happened in an experience. It wasn't just thinking about something after and, oh, I could have applied this or done this. It's an actual instance where it occurred. And it's like right recent. And wow, I just am happy to be able to revisit that and see that in this brain. So wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and so if you do it that way, if you're able to actually experience that again, you find the insights that come from looking about will come. You get a lot more insights into
Yeah.
yourself and to other people that are there. It's
Yeah,
helpful.
to other people that are there. Exactly. It
Yeah.
wasn't, instead of it being me and this anxiety and a me,
Yeah,
it was
so
more
good.
about
Okay.
just the situation, just the facts, and he responded in just backing off, and oh, everything was fine. He didn't take offense to it or be like, well, I'm driving fine, like nothing. It was just this acceptance of all in this, in that, in a moment where it used to be anxiety and a battle between the people, and then a dissatisfied trip,
Yeah.
none of that. It was just,
It's both better. That's what feelings is all about. That's why you feel. Of course, the more you forgive, the more you stand above the battleground. You forgive, you forget. And yeah, so and then you get to a place where you just say, "Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? What do I care?" It's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
I,
it's all good.
I know when I say who cares, like there's a part of me that thinks that means that's a negative thing because I get a
Man,
twinge. I get a little twitch. Who
well,
cares? Even when I say it, it's like who cares? Like it's
Jim, what
an
was it? John Belushi, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's all a dream. It's bottom line, it's all a dream. I'm not saying you should go out there and do something if you want, but it's all a dream. And so what's happening just doesn't matter in the end. Now, that's
Yeah.
easy for us to say. We got a house and shelter and so forth, and somebody else might have a problem with that. But I always say, no matter how intense the illusion, it's still an illusion.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about that. This is what this book says, and this is the book that I use to guide my life. And although everything I can to avoid hurting somebody's feelings, that's for sure. But it's
Oh, the more I try to avoid hurting people's feelings, the
yeah,
more I did hurt their
that's right,
feelings.
that's right, that's
I
right.
see that
Yeah,
happen
yeah,
so
yeah,
evidently.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny.
Teach what you want to learn. I don't mind. I mean, I would never go up to somebody and deliberately
No,
say
no,
to
no,
them,
no, no.
you're not real, so I don't care about you. Or do something that's obviously, you want to also be careful because, as you said, that dream will turn on you.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
the dream is like
Yeah,
the dream is just about you like rob banks. Oh well, it's a dream of let them rob the bank. The dream's gonna turn on you if you rob banks, and to come get you and put you in a jail cell. And you dream what you want, but you don't want to be in the dream jail.
yeah, yeah.
That's darn sure.
Well,
No.
yeah, or even the other jail where it's the insane asylum
Oh
jail.
yeah,
Like you
yeah, that
you
too.
can't, you gotta still, like the course says, you gotta act normal. You can't get all
Yeah,
you
exactly,
can't
exactly.
you can't start
You know.
changing the architecture in front of people's eyes and stuff
Exactly,
because it's
exactly.
just gonna
They'll
I
put you
said
away.
that the other day to Mike. He's like, well, you can't do that. I said, well, maybe not in your dream, but in my dream I can.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, even if I have tomorrow that all the powers in the world on, be very careful how you manage that.
Yes,
And
I can see how if something unfolds in a different way, how you could get caught up in stuff like just like Well, even talking about all the rich people with all their money and stuff, they can get into trouble if they don't have some tools to work against the capriciousness of the ego.
Right,
Because
right.
then they go in and they're like bored. They're not
Yeah,
the dissatisfaction to be dissatisfied but have everything
yeah.
in this world,
The
like
thing,
the
yeah,
rich people. What do? You got to get an island, the
yeah,
Epstein Island, and you got to
exactly.
do stupid stuff.
If
And
you have
then,
the money, you might as well.
yeah, you keep doing it, and then the dream comes against you, like
Exactly,
Diddy, like they're
exactly.
coming against you.
Yeah,
Like you say, you
yeah.
can't you
That's
can't
why.
go completely rogue.
No, no. Eventually, it comes out against you. Eventually, everything comes. My father used to say, eventually, everything comes back to haunt you. My father
Yeah,
would say,
everything comes back to haunt you.
yeah. So yeah. It's not necessarily in a bad way, but you can't mess with the dream too much because the consequences are the consequences. Unless you want to, if that's something you want to do, if you want to experience jail, then do what you gotta do. But if you think that you can do whatever you want to the people in your dream, then it's not like guilt. It's about cause and effect. You're still gonna find yourself dealing with the effects of the dream.
Yeah.
And I remember when I had a lucid dream one night. I said to my friend in the dream, I go, this is just a dream. You're my dream. And she looked at me like I was nuts. My dream, but
Oh,
yeah, but
oh, you were awake or
no,
were
I was
you
in the dream.
right?
Yeah, and I said to my friend in the dream, I was dreaming her. I said, I'm dreaming you right now. You're in my dream. And she turned to me looking all confused. I said, what? Yeah, she responded the way she would respond in real life. She was
Yes.
keeping me in the dream. And so this, if you do something here that's against the norms of most society, who most society just has no idea it's a dream, doesn't
Right,
function as though it's a dream, they're gonna respond in kind as though it's not a dream, as though it's real, and you're a threat to them.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll turn on you. And you want to be carried away by the dream into a prison cell, or worse, to a death.
Wow, yeah,
If you
yeah.
said to go rogue. Well, a lot of people say yes, but most don't. I mean, I'm not saying you should go out there and do what you want and not fit in. We're all misfits, especially here. Yeah,
Especially here.
yeah, we're all look at us. We're all like we can fit into their home.
Yeah, you don't have like these Mike's like, well, he's like, think about the people that are in the groups of stuff. He's like, you don't see me in there, right? And I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Because
so
him and I are together, and he's like, it's just he's
yeah,
just
well, so
trying to
right.
say in a nice way, like not all people are freaking mixed up and thinking the way I am. So,
Yeah, well, I said to my
that's
wife.
all.
My wife works for a big company, and there's a sense that they're the normal ones, and it's not the case.
Yeah, they're the normal ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you go on. Yeah, okay. I just laugh my maniacal, pretend maniacal laugh, and
Yeah, and
you
I
think
just
what you think.
it's
So I
like
think,
being a misfit. Me, in my opinion, just means that you don't you, you get your own thing going. I
yeah.
mean, for me, I didn't fit into anything, any religion at all, any traditional religion, and then I found this, and
Yes.
this is just it's on the surface and what it says and what it teaches is just unique. And it's just it doesn't it's not something that you would find. I mean, you might find the wisdom is perennial, and but its approach is totally different than anything in the West. And I found people here to be just as their approach is not religious in nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no one here who's religious in nature and trying to whip people into shape or tries to get people to think a certain way or else. But I'm in part of some people who are like that, but I haven't really run into it on any large scale at all. And so I found this. I found people here to be just, and usually that's a sign that people who have been in a situation where they have not fit in and know what it's like, and
Yes.
know what it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
to not feel the part of the group. And then so they come to a place like this, and now they feel like they're home because they can come here and not be in that and have total acceptance. which is unique in itself, and doesn't make you special or anything. It makes you different.
Yeah.
And then for the time being, as we spoke about the other day, teachers have got to be different. You know,
Yeah.
we have a special mission until the gig is up. Hands
Yeah.
up, hands up.
The
All
jig
right.
is up until the jig is up, as they
That's right.
say.
That's
Oh,
right.
well, we're supposed to redefine the scale. We better finish our
Oh,
barometer.
all right. Now, let's redefine the scale. -10 indicates a very strong identification with your small self, your smallest self. +10 indicates a very strong identification with your capital S self. Oh, is that weird? Would you do that already?
No, I thought that's what the scale was. -10 was paralyzing anxiety. Okay, now -10 is a very strong identification with your small s self. Okay, this is more where are you identifying? Not anxiety, but are you identifying in your ego, pleasure, body
I,
self, or
I,
+10 with your capital S self?
usually I'm +10, but sometimes I can go I can dip into to anxiety if something goes wrong, if something surprises me. You know, that's kind of heavy duty. Like if when my daughter had some problems, she ended up we had to take her to rehab. So stuff like that, you know.
Right, right.
That can stress me out because the level of control over something that I love dearly
Mm-hmm.
is totally out of my control. And I'm not able to put that and let it go. It keeps coming back at you. So, you know, it's like you use your tools, but you have to keep on using them.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to
yeah.
keep on using them over and over again
Mhm.
because it keeps on coming back. At one point, I thought she was dead.
Yeah, that's
And
horrible.
it was
That
utterly impossible
feeling.
for my tools to work consistently. It was almost as if
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
continue. It just like they didn't work. So it was like any tool I had. It wasn't even tools. You know, my response was just a giant reaction. Really, is what it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I started to weep, and we were putting up signs with her pictures on it and everything. Anyhow, we found her, and it was all everything worked out well. Um,
I'm
but
glad. Yeah,
so
I'm
yeah,
glad. But
but
it's that
I
journey
mean,
through that feeling, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a journey, and it kind of knocks you out. But then then you come back, and if
Yeah.
you come back from that, you come back for anything. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, because then yeah, because that's a deep one. I know I've had that as well with mine where I actually started to avoid going into his room to wake him up in the morning because I was like I just can't. I can't. I was so convinced he wasn't going to be alive because
Oh
I
yeah,
thought he
yeah,
was going to do
yeah,
himself in that I couldn't. I just stopped. I
yeah.
said to Mike, I can't go. You have to wake him up in the morning. It lasted a couple weeks, that did.
It's
And then
horrible.
finally, I don't know what loosened. The
I
loosened.
very
It
often checked
loosened.
her I checked her breathing, just to be.
Yeah.
That's the eye, she's breathing still. Yeah. But she's so much better. I mean, she's so much better than it was. So that was very often don't dip into that low level of anxiety. But it's usually very specific to
Yeah.
something. So but
I'm
but
gonna I'll just finish reading about this
uh,
thing
uh,
here, Red
yeah,
Wayne,
cool.
when we can wrap it up.
Yes.
What, so we were talking about what the number above, do we feel closer to our separate self or our Christ self, really,
Right.
capital S self? And what does the number tell you about who you think you are? And chances are you recognize that you are somehow identified with being a small s self. Well, we all are identified with that. That's
Yeah.
why we're here. It's like Alice in Wonderland, you know. Of course, you're identified with your small s self. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. In other words, you strongly identify with being Audrey or Rev Wayne with no judgment and no guilt for identifying with the small s self. Use this affirmation to remind yourself of what is in store as you come to embrace your capital S self. There is a part of us that is whole, safe, and at complete peace. This part of us is our self, capital S self. As we come to know this self, our anxiety has to fade. We do not judge ourselves for where we are. We do not feel guilty for identifying with our small s self. We are willing to learn that our happiness and peace lie in our capital S self. Inner therapist, show me the way, or Christ, show me the way, or Jesus, show me the way, or Buddha, show me the way, or universe, show me the way, or light, show me the way. Little bit of willingness is all we need. And now rest and trust that the way will become clear. Feel free to repeat this exercise by drawing different scales for different situations, like work, uncomfortable social situations, time with family, or traveling. Whatever the context may be, you can learn how to claim your peace as yourself. Capital S self. Yeah, you can learn.
Yes, you can. All right.
We can teach the old dog new tricks after all, Rev Wayne.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And that's what we're doing. We're learning the tricks. All right. Okay. God bless everyone. I love you all. And this is Rev Wayne. And I'm tuning out for the day. I'm coming back on Thursday at 12:30, same time as today. And until then, peace. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you
Lynn.
so
Thanks,
much.
Dove.
Love you
Thank you.
guys.
Peace.